1.5 million minutes consumed across the social networks of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Now, the reason that, now I'm looking here and I see that there is a, it looks like there's a press release released through Business Wire. And I guess that maybe this is what people do. They advertise broadly, and perhaps maybe the goal is to get advertisers or something like that, which I can understand that, because basically from a business and economic standpoint, I can tell you that, traditionally black media's objective has been to build enough of a black audience to convince white corporations to market their products to black people, right? This goes back to Ebony Magazine and John Johnson and videos like How to Sell to the Negro, which is a Negro explaining video where they go to white companies and say, look, this is how you sell to black people. This is what they like, what they don't like. This is how they think. This is how, you need to avoid offending them. So unfortunately what it becomes, if you're not careful, and I'm not even being critical because most of us don't understand this. Like I'm an expert on finance, so I see these things. But if you're not careful, what you're kind of doing is you're packaging up black people and selling them to white folks, right? Which unfortunately, if you're not able to play chess instead of checkers on this, you end up basically leading to a mass wealth extraction in the black community, because you're introducing white corporations into avenues through which they can extract revenue from the black consumer. So you build a big platform, right? And you say, I've got 100 million Negroes I can sell to you. And you go to Popeye's Chicken and say, just make sure your chicken is juicy and sweet and delicious, and the pickles taste good, and the sauce is great, and the bread is soft, and put a black woman on your ad, and you can get 100 million out of the black community. You pay me $500,000. You give me a bucket of chicken, right? And then you can go into my hood. I'm gonna sell you all these black people who trust me, and you can come in and make a fucking killing. Am I right or am I right? Please tell me you follow what I'm saying. Do you get what I'm saying, right? And unfortunately, yeah, give me a yes or no if you follow what I'm saying here. If you follow what I'm saying. Because everybody ain't gonna get it. Some people are gonna spend more time being offended by what I say than actually hearing what I'm actually trying to express to you. So that to me that's where our ideologies kind of part ways, right? Again, I told you I ain't fighting with no black people in 2019. So this is not a diss video on Roland Martin. He's dissed me 20 million times, I'm sure. He said, shut the hell up, and y'all wrong in the Harriet movie. And that's fine. I mean, it doesn't offend me at all. I promise you it doesn't. Because, it's my opinion, his opinion. It is what it is. But that's where we diverge. Where I diverge is I say, let's try to go to the next level. Let's really sort of think about the downside. When we're going out and we're arguing, Tom Joyner and others led the charge to say, white corporations need to advertise more with black media. We need more sponsorship. They haven't spent any dollars with black media this year, and that makes sense to a point. But the problem is that on a bigger scale, what you're doing is you're extracting wealth from your own community for your own personal benefit. So that's the difference between a black leader and a Negro manager. A Negro manager is someone who kind of corrals and packages and harnesses all these black people, and then goes to the white man's company with a package and a proposal and says, we have, our platform reaches 2.5 million black people per day. 60% of them are women with incomes over $70,000 a year. 45% of our audience has a college degree. Our audience shows the greatest interest in fried chicken, new cars, watermelon, and Air Jordans. And then they look at that and they say, well, thank you, Tyrone. This analysis is excellent. We'll write you a check for $45 and send you some food stamps and a bucket of chicken, and you let us come in and we'll collect the billions. We'll collect the billions and we'll give you a bucket of chicken. That's part of the driving factor behind Byron Allen's lawsuit against Comcast right now, is that Byron Allen peeped the game. Byron Allen ain't stupid. Byron Allen is playing at this level, not that level, right? Byron Allen is a guy, and I'm not sitting here trying to put him on some pedestal as a black leader, because he's a flawed person. I'm not gonna say he's flawed. Look up, Google Byron Allen and wife, right? And then you'll see where I get prickly, where I'm like, damn, man, I just wish these brothers would marry black women so this wealth would go to black women, right? I just feel, but does that make me bad? Does that make me a bad person? I'm not dissing. I swear to God, I'm not dissing him. But it's, yeah. So let's keep going. All right. So Byron Allen, though, because he plays the game at the top, he plays above the rim, he peeps out the game. And he said, wait a minute, what you did with the Comcast NBC Universal merger was you went to the civil rights leadership and you wrote them a little tiny check because you used to Negroes getting, he said, he literally compared it to monkeys and bananas. I said, God damn, wow. That's, whoa. So Byron Allen's a bad dude. He might not, we might not, again, I ain't going to be marrying Becky, but Byron Allen, smart guy. He said they treat us like monkeys who get bananas. They throw us a banana, and then the whole time they're taking the lion's share of the wealth. So Comcast was like, all we got to do is write a couple of little tiny baby checks, maybe enough to buy like, a Gucci belt or something to black leaders, and they'll co-sign, as Negro managers, they'll co-sign on the merger. And so that there's no racism problem, nothing to see here, folks. Ain't no racism going on. That's why you got to be careful about letting, the black elite sort of become the civil rights leaders, because unfortunately, what they get paid for are shakedowns in many cases. They get paid by corporations to make their problems go away. Some of them are legit think like gangsters, where it's like, if you pay me, you won't have any problems. If you don't pay me, then guess what? Your construction project will never get off the ground because you're going to have a strike, or I'll have people out picketing in front of your building because I'm going to highlight all the shit that you know that you're doing, but I won't mention it if you make sure I get paid, right? That's a very interesting sort of relationship. So effectively, a lot of black media, and then even worse, you have so-called black media that's really owned by whites, like BET, The Root, things like that. They end up basically packaging black consumers for white corporations, which actually plays a significant part in the mass extraction of $1.3 trillion in wealth from your community every year. You getting reparations ain't gonna do shit for you if you don't solve that problem. Like seriously, that's like turning on the motherfucking air condition when you're in 100-degree heat and every damn window in the house is wide open. Like if every window in the house is wide open and you turn on the AC or the fan, you still gonna be hot as fuck because you're not going to be in a better situation. You must, before you turn on the AC, you must close the window. Do you follow what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Give me confirmation. I need y'all to tell me y'all following me on this. Before you cool off the room with a new air condition, you must shut the window. So before you're able to actually elevate yourselves economically, you don't just figure out how you can get another check from the government or whatever it is that they're going to give you. They're not going to give you no real reparations. They might give you, like I said, they'll throw in a couple of little things, but it ain't going to be nothing big. White folks ain't ready for that yet. White people are not evolved enough. The majority of them don't even support reparations. And if they push the bill through, they're going to be pissed and they're going to write baby checks. And so to some extent, you don't even want a check from them now. Maybe I want my grandchildren to get a check because I think they'll get a better check than I would get, right? Like think about it. Imagine if they passed reparations 100 years ago, they wouldn't do justice for black people. They would give you something that was symbolic, right? So the point of the matter is that if you want your wealth to elevate, you must start by shutting the window, right? It's like when you go to your mama, you say, "Mama, I'm hungry. I want to go to McDonald's." What did your mama say if there was food at home in the refrigerator? Or if you got a plate, if you just ate and you didn't finish all your food? What's your mama gonna say? Is she gonna say, "Sure, let's go get in the car and go to McDonald's"? No, your mama's gonna say, "You need to finish your food. You still got that chicken in there. You still got those mashed potatoes. We got green beans in the refrigerator. You got apples and oranges and fruit. You got all kinds of stuff right here now. You got there's food at home. I cooked at home." Right? Well, the same thing is true with black people when it comes to wealth. You're looking at externally to say, how much do we need somebody else to write a check for us to get our economic situation together? And I'm the one who says, I'm like your mama. I'm like, you got plenty of food at home, right? If you go back and find a way to shut the window and harness even 10% more of that $1.3 trillion, that will give you more than any reparations package that white people will pass in this generation at any point, right? So where does this go back? And first of all, before we move on, do me a favor.